back to the How to Podcast series. My name is Dave. Nice to have you here. Welcome to the show. First time here, welcome. We got lots and lots of room for you. Happy to have you here. If you've been here before, you know where to sit. Yeah, right. That's your seat. Nice to have you here. Welcome back to the show. I wanted to put out something that you can hitch yourself to as a podcaster. Oh, a hitch. Yeah, we're going to talk about podcast trailers. Trailer hitch. There you go. That's where my brain is today. There's something that's happened. Your podcast guru, you know, that person that you pay a ton of money to or a lot of attention to, who outright told you that a podcast trailer is not important. Well, they lied and they don't know what they're talking about. So I'm glad you're here because we're going to set everybody straight. A trailer is super important for your show. I'm going to prove it to you, I hope, in this episode and encourage you to, if you haven't created a trailer, to create one today. And if you have a trailer that's kind of getting old, it's time to do some renovations on the trailer and repost it. Thank you for being here. Let's jump in. So normally I have like swipes and sound effects that take you to the next thing. This episode, I'm going to put trailers in between each point so that you can actually hear trailers while we're talking about trailers on a podcast about trailers. What better thing to have than trailers? So listen to these as we go through and they might spark some creative thoughts for you. I'm sharing some examples of podcasters I know and love and podcasters I've never met yet. I'd love to meet them. But here's some examples during the episode where you'd get that swipe and the whoosh sound. I'm just going to put a trailer in. So let's jump in.
Welcome to the Afterlight Fictions podcast, a place for enjoying fables, myths, and melodies from a variety of styles and genres. Stories are a mix of familiar and original works featuring music and sound effects to help immerse you in the world you're visiting. Whether you are a fan of listening to stories, in search of a break from your fast-paced day, or maybe you're looking for something to help fall asleep, Afterlight Fictions can help guide you into your own imagination or dreamland. In order to have the best experience possible, I recommend you listen to the show in a place that doesn't have too many loud noises. That way you can fully enjoy the sound design. And if you are specifically looking for something to help fall asleep, keep an eye out for the little Z's in the podcast episode titles. Those shows are designed to be more like an audiobook, and you won't have to worry about any startling music or sound effects suddenly waking you up. The intro music on those episodes is a little different as well to help you identify them. The release schedule for new episodes will start out at 3 times per year, so there's plenty of time to prepare new stories. January, May, and September will be the targeted months for new episodes. Having said that, each release date will reveal multiple new stories. If you've already caught up on all the latest episodes, don't forget that you can subscribe to the show so you'll be notified every time a new episode is available. Thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to helping you enjoy more Afterlight Fictions.
A podcast trailer. What is it? Let's start with that first. A podcast trailer is simply your short description of the show, your easy description, something that somebody can hear from you in an elevator pitch. It can be a condensed version of what the content's going to be on your show. It is a short, engaging preview and introduces you and your show to a potential audience. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that there's some podcasts that have really long episodes. We're talking an hour plus. For a new person who stumbles upon your show, somebody sent them to your show, they Googled you and found you, somehow they're here for the first time, and they look at a sea of episodes that are like an hour and 2 hours long. That's a pretty big commitment for a first-time listener. And it's like, I wish there was like a little bite-sized episode that kind of made me understand what is going on here and whether or not this is the show for me. Enter the podcast trailer. This is a perfect opportunity to highlight the key themes and kind of teases what's coming on this show. It's like a little taste test. You know, when you get to try something and go, oh, that's really good. Yeah, that's what your trailer is. It's a little taste of what anybody can experience on your show. So it's very, very important. Despite what that guru told you, again, they lied to you. A trailer is super important for what you do in your podcast. It acts as your podcast elevator pitch, giving your listeners, your potential listeners, people who don't know you yet, a quick sense of what to expect, who you are, and why they should actually subscribe to the show and follow you. Trailers will help build anticipation and attract an audience before your first episode even drops, allowing you to start growing your listener base even before you've gotten a single episode in the world. When you start your show, there's a few things you have to have. You'll need a host if you're going to go down the route that I'm doing with an RSS feed, which means I upload one file to one location and it's sent to multiple places at one time. Apple, Spotify, Audible, on and on and on, YouTube, everything. One upload, one file to one place, and it's distributed, and we call that a podcast host. That host will deliver it to everybody, and I don't have to go to each individual place and upload it multiple times, one at a time. That's the beautiful thing about an RSS feed. And yes, RSS feeds, really simple syndication, RSS, really simple syndication. Also, you can do video. Again, if your guru tells you that there's podcast began as audio and video is new, again, they're lying to you. It's not true. Video has been around from the beginning of podcasting. So again, if you're hearing these things, you don't need a trailer and audio was first and video's new. These are what we call wrong things. And you are being taught something incorrect. And it's making you look a little bit funny when you recite and regurgitate this information, which is, again, wrong. So please keep that in mind. If you're getting bad information, it's going to make you look bad and your show look bad, and you're operating under assumption, which is, again, wrong. So please, trailers are important. And so you can use, when you set up your show for the first time, you're going to need a host, which is, again, distributing your show everywhere. And you're going to need a single episode. You only need one, technically, to get started. And you need an image for your artwork. So that would be what people see when they press play on their playable app anywhere. So you need a square image for that. And you'll need a description and a title for your show. Like, what's the name of your show and what's the show about? That's basically it. Those 4-5 things, that's all you need to get started. Now, you can always do more. You can have multiple episodes. You can launch with a big group of episodes. That's all. That's good. That's another thing you can do. But the basics are you need an episode. So if you're working on your show and you're not there yet, a trailer is like a little placeholder, which then allows you to set up your show, get everything working properly, and you're just putting it out there. Could be 3 months from now before you release your first episode and you have everything ready. But why not build anticipation now by creating a short trailer episode that is a taste test for everyone? You can use this now, put it out there, and then go back and start working on your actual full episodes. So keep that in mind. A little side note for you: when you upload your trailer to your hosting site, when you upload an audio file, for example, you'll have the option to click, this is a regular episode, this is a bonus episode, right? These are options for you. And then there's one other option that says trailer. Now, make sure when you upload your trailer, you don't upload it as a checkboxed regular episode or checkboxed bonus episode. All of these checkboxes and these options, those 3 options, have different meanings and different ways of being displayed. And trailer on some apps will take your trailer episode and put it at the top of the feed. And there'll be like a special bonus thing at the very, very top on the app where your trailer is always available. So no matter what happens, and if you have 100 episodes or 2, you'll always have this trailer sitting at the top of the page for people to check on. Now, I do a lot of things where I'm pulling people's trailers to create commercials or listen to your show. And I'm going to tell you, more than half, almost 3/4 of the people I go to your show, you don't even have a trailer. And again, those gurus who tell you that trailers are a waste of time, technically they are a waste of time as a guru because they're giving you bad information. These trailers are great for you as you set up your show. Again, if you don't have any episodes yet, then don't wait. Get your trailer recorded, get going, and get it out there. It's super for a discoverability. It's great for a new listener who doesn't know who you are. And if this show is right for them, a trailer is a great idea. And if anybody's diverting you away from that, you might need to take a step back because you're getting bad advice. You got to call it out. That's what it is. It's bad advice. So for podcasters, creating a trailer clarifies your message and helps you to be more succinct and communicate what the value of your show is. I love it because it's a condensed version of your big idea into a smaller bite-sized chunk. Just enough to make people curious and wanting more. That's the sign of a good trailer. So how do podcast players display these trailers on their apps? Apple Podcasts and Spotify both give trailers prominent placement. On Apple Podcast, trailers appear in their own section within your show's listing and are often displayed at the top of the episode list. Spotify automatically shows the first trailer episode in your RSS feed at the top of your episode list, making it the first thing that new listeners encounter. And marketing an episode as a trailer and marking them up that way is straightforward with most podcast hosts, ensuring it's reorganized as a featured spot for you on major platforms. Very important that you use that trailer option when you upload. Remember, full episode, bonus episode, trailer are some of the options I'm seeing on the hosting sites that I'm using. Make sure you click the box for trailer. There's a reason why that box is there. Please use it. Otherwise, your trailer is going to get buried in all of the other episodes. And if your trailer is older than your newest episode, it's going to drop down the list and keep dropping down, and people won't see it. They won't get the same experience. Use the trailer button. If you've already uploaded your podcast and you're like, oh, crap, I didn't use the trailer thing, all you have to do is go into that episode, find your trailer, go to the edit field, and instead you'll see the options to recheck trailer and then see what happens. Save it. You don't have to upload a new one, so you have 2 now. Just use the same one. Go in and update their trailer from regular or bonus and make sure you've clicked on trailer.
Once we labeled it as outrage, it was this light that went on.
Are you on social media? Do you watch news on TV, online? Do you get political campaign emails, texts? Then you've seen it. Outrage porn. Messaging designed to evoke outrage. I'm David Beckmeyer, and this is Outrage Overload, a podcast about our unhealthy relationship with the outrage industry.
It's not just that they're different and you dislike them, you think they're bad.
There's not a magic wand that we're going to be able to wave.
I've obviously disconnected from people, family members, friends.
But it's also about hope.
We have to be optimistic.
There are all these areas where we're really not so divided, and that's where we need to turn our attention.
Maybe you should listen to me once in a while.
Coming soon to wherever you get your podcasts.
So what makes a good podcast trailer? What are the key elements? Well, some things to consider in your trailer. Introduce yourself. Again, remember, people are coming to this. They have no idea who you are. They don't know anything about your topic, your content. They have no idea who you are as a person. So introduce yourself and your show clearly and concisely. Don't get too wordy. This is not meant to be a 10, 15-minute episode. as a trailer. I sell one podcast guru, highly celebrated in podcasting, and his trailer is 50 minutes long, 50 minutes long. That's not a trailer. That's a full episode. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is what we have for teachers, everybody. A trailer is short, to the point. It's supposed to be a little bite-sized chunk, not a full-length episode that's been mistakenly tagged as the trailer. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Again, if you work with any guru that says, do as I say, don't do as I do, that's a great exit line for you. That means you're in the wrong place. Go to someone who does what they say they do. There's a reason why we say and do what we do, and if that's divorced from each other, then you're the wrong spot. Just another side note. So introduce yourself, tease the core theme of your show. What kind of topics are you covering, and what unique value is there that your podcast offers that sets you apart from all the other podcasts that talk about your topic? What's different about your show? And then use an engaging tone that reflects your podcast personality and style. Include a clear call to action, such as subscribing to the show, following your show, and keep it focused by highlighting what listeners will gain and what makes your podcast, again, different from everybody else's. There's got to be some unique value that your show provides that nobody else provides. And that unique value could simply be you. It could simply be the fact that you're different than everyone else. And the gap that you're seeing in the market is what makes your show special. What gap do I see in the market for podcasts about podcasting? I see a lot of solo hosted episodes by a self-proclaimed guru who maybe has been doing this forever or for 3 days. And it's all about their opinion about podcasting. It is through their lens. What may have worked for them and not worked for them in the past, that's their foundation. But they don't really leverage the collective knowledge of the group. It's all about them. How many awards they've won, how long they've been doing this, blah, 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 blah. This show is different because I like to bring on guest co-hosts. So you're not just getting Dave's opinion, what works for me on my show, because what works for me might not work for you. And in that, I'm now making you feel like you're doing it wrong because you're not doing it my way. Or you're like, these things don't happen for me in the way it's happening for Dave. So I bring on a guest co-host who does it completely different than I do. And you get to listen to them and go, I like how they do it. It's different than Dave. It's a different approach and it works for them. And I think that'll work for my show. So my show is based on community. Yes, I have solo episodes. I'm doing one right now. But I love to balance it out with other voices in podcasting who see life differently than I do. Right? I can't reach everyone. I would love to, but I can't. So I bring on people who can. And that's what makes the show different. It's not about being judged for doing it the wrong way. It's about being coached and pointing you in a way that works for you. And that's what's unique for my show compared to all of the amazing other podcasts about podcasting. Some amazing, some not so amazing. This is a little different in approach. And that's what my unique value is for this show. So what's your unique value? What is it all about? And make sure people know about that right from the beginning.
The last word in podcasting news. This is the Pod News Weekly Review with James Cridlin and Sam Sethi.
I'm James Cridlin, the editor of Pod News, the daily podcast newsletter.
And I'm Sam Sethi, the CEO of Podfans.
Every week, the Pod News Weekly Review is the last word in podcasting news, with a look back at the most important news in podcasting and interviews with the people that matter.
This is Rachel King. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pod People.
Hey, this is Mark Asquith, the co-founder here at Captivate.
Hey, James, it's Kathy Doyle.
Hi, this is Brendan Mulligan, founder of Podpage.
I'm Anna Sean. I lead the marketing team
team that is focused on Spotify for podcasters.
Hi, I'm Christiana Cromer, Descript's community manager.
Hi, I'm Tom Rossi from Buzzsprout.
Hi, this is Todd Cochran, CEO and co-founder of Blueberry.
I'm Melissa Kishie, and I'm a senior vice president at Edison Research.
Hear from Sam, me, and everyone else in this industry every week. The Pod News Weekly Review with Buzzsprout. Podcast hosting made easy.
From your daily newsletter, the Pod News Weekly Review.
How long should my trailer be? Well, I mentioned before about a podcast guru who's very celebrated in the space who has a 50-minute trailer. I'm shaking my head right now. You can't see me, but I'm shaking my head back and forth. Wow. That's one heck of a trailer there. It shouldn't be 50 minutes. Let's put it that way. The most effective podcast trailers are somewhere between 60 to 90 seconds long. Now, some players, and based on who you talk to, they'll tell you that 60 seconds is the amount of time it takes to create a listen for your show. Now, again, it varies across all the different platforms, but at least 60 seconds would be a download. So if you're doing a 30-second podcast trailer, technically, on some places, that won't even register as a play because you didn't hit the 60-second mark. Now, I don't know how this will last in the future and all of that, but I would say a good point of reference would be 60 to 90 seconds. That's enough. That's more than 30, but less than 50 minutes, please. If that's kind of a guide, don't do 50 minutes and maybe don't do 30 seconds, okay? But somewhere in between. More 60 to 90 seconds. The length is long enough to convey essential information, but short enough to keep it punchy and engaging. And avoid making your trailer longer than 2 minutes. Brevity is the key way of holding people's attention as they come to you for the first time. What should you avoid saying in your trailer?
Canada is home to some of the most creative, insightful, and entertaining podcasts out there. The Great White Pod shines a spotlight on these shows and the voices behind them. I'm your host, Danny Brown. Join me as I sit down with Canadian podcasters to explore their journey, their craft, and the episodes that mean the most to them. Together, we'll dig into 2 or 3 standout episodes, unpacking why they resonate and what went into making them. Each guest will also share what it means to be a Canadian podcaster in today's landscape. And before they sign off, they'll leave listeners with a recommendation for another must-hear Canadian podcast. Released bi-weekly every Tuesday, you can listen for free at greatwhitepod.ca or follow on your podcast app of choice, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, and more. So if you love discovering great Canadian podcasts and celebrating homegrown talent, pull up a Muskoka chair and let the Great White Pod be your passport to Canada's thriving podcast scene.
Don't oversell or mislead your audience. Don't get on your trailer and say, hi, it's How to Podcast Series. It's Dave. We're going to be doing a 3 times a day podcast, 7 days a week, morning, afternoon, and dinner. No, that's overselling. Don't overpromise. Don't mislead. Don't go crazy with sound effects, gimmicks, a long music track with no words. Again, people are like, I don't know what this show's about, and why am I listening to this song for 2 minutes before anybody actually speaks? Don't do that. Don't forget to be clear and have that call to action within your trailer as well. So follow the show, subscribe to the show, tell a friend about this show. Something in there. Don't leave it empty. Don't leave it hanging. Leave something in there for your audience to action as a result of hearing that trailer. And steer clear of any vague promises, generic statements, marketing speak, all of that stuff. Be specific about what your listeners are going to experience by following this show. And don't make your trailer feel like a full episode, guru with a 50-minute trailer, or an extended introduction. Keep it concise and focused on the hook.
Welcome to On the Rails, the go-to place for your train and transport fix. I'm your host Liam from West Midlands Trains, and I'm here to bring you a ton of helpful facts, entertainment, and even some relaxing mindfulness techniques to help get you through your day. In this podcast, we'll be delving into a series of rail-related issues, from navigating the strikes to timing your ticket purchases perfectly. We'll also have some delightful conversations with everyone in the West Midlands Trains family.
Hi, how can I help you?
From our longer-serving staff to our newest recruits and apprentices, all on hand to give you everything you need. It really is a necessity for all of you regular railway users. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you get your audio fix. On the Rails is brought to you by West Midlands Trains.
So you did a trailer, maybe, in the past. And it's been, you have like 20, 50, 100 episodes since then. You've never gone back to the trailer. Technically, you're going to hear people say that your first episode's your worst. I don't really agree with that as much anymore because there's more education now. There's more examples. There's more teaching. There's more gurus for sure who are teaching all of this. So the opportunity for you to learn from other people's mistakes will speed you along. Maybe 25 years ago, that it maybe was pretty tough to figure out all this stuff. But right now, no, it's getting a lot easier for you to create a good podcast trailer without it sucking, because you can learn. You can start at a different place than everyone else had started in the past. So it doesn't have to be terrible. But when you record multiple episodes over a period of time, your voice is going to become different. Maybe at the beginning, your first 10 episodes, you're a little stiff, a little starchy. You're not as smooth. You haven't found your voice. You haven't found the rhythm and the tone of your voice and the tone of your show. That develops over time. So if you have over 50 episodes, I would think you're better than you were on the first 10 episodes. So at any point, you can go in and create a new trailer. Anytime. And in your hosting site, where you initially uploaded the first trailer, all you do, you don't have to upload a second, third, fourth, 25th trailer. Just go into the original trailer that you had uploaded and swap out the audio. Just swap it out. It used to be this. I'm updating it with a new file. You save it, and you're done. And you could, at that point, bring the date closer to the front as well. So if that's a 2-year-old trailer, you could bring it up to this year's release instead. My suggestion would be to release it, change the date to something current, but a couple days in the past. That way it won't flag as a new episode to your audience. You're just bringing it up in the date range. So that's one way you can keep track as to how new your trailer is, by just simply updating the date. Again, don't do it into the future because that's a new episode launch. Keep it just a couple days in the past from the day that you've updated the trailer. That's all. And you'll bring your trailer up a little bit closer to the front. And when somebody looks at the date on their playable app, if the date is shown, it'll show a more current date. Go in there, update it. Maybe your content has changed a little bit from when you first started. Maybe you've changed. Well, I hope you've changed. You're getting better at this. And maybe your insights are different, or the tone of the show is different. Something's happened over the last 50, 100, 500 episodes that makes your show uniquely different than it was at the beginning. So go in there, update your trailer anytime, and just swap out the old with the new, so that you keep all of the listens, all of the stats, all of the analytics attached to your original podcast episode, your original trailer. You're just updating the file, the playable file within the podcast. You do not have to delete it and then start from scratch. Don't do that. Just replace the audio. If you're not sure how to do this, you and I can jump on Zoom. I'll show you exactly how to do it on your hosting site. and walk you through it so that you feel comfortable doing this in the future. This is something that you can do. You don't need an expert to do this for you, and you don't need to pay somebody to do this. You can do this yourself. I'll show you.
Hello, friends. Bill Monty here, and I'm inviting you to join me with our new show coming in 2024, Tales from South Florida. Whether you grew up in South Florida, you're still living in South Florida, or you think about South Florida, there's a lot of stories that you need to know about. From Al Capone to Meyer Lansky, from the haunted theaters of Fort Lauderdale to the Hollywood Sportatorium, from the Fort Lauderdale Strip to stripping down at the nude beaches, we've got it all for you coming in 2024. Tales from South Florida with Bill Monty. We will see you on the flip side.
When you're doing your trailer, one other caution for you, this trailer's not all about you. And I'm sorry to say this to you if this is the first time you've ever heard these words as a podcaster, but frankly, new people don't care about you at all. There's no reason for them to care about you because they don't know who you are. You need to earn that care, trust, and admiration. It doesn't come for free. So until people care about you, they don't. And for you to get on your trailer and spout out all your awards, all of your things that you've done, it's a little self-serving. And if you are your only listener, then have at it. But most people coming to your show, they're not here to find out about your awards. I don't care about your LinkedIn resume and all of the things you've accomplished. I'm here for the show. I'm here for the content. So make sure your podcast trailer is listener facing. If it's host facing, if it's all about you and you stroking your ego in front of us, that's not a good look for somebody new to your show. Remember, somebody coming to the show doesn't know who you are. They don't care about you. And they're here to see if this is the right thing for them. So be the right thing for them. And it's not about you. It's about them as a listener. Keep that in mind, and your trailer is going to be even better.
Do you ever wonder what would happen if
you give a dad a podcast?
I'm what you call a nerdy fan. I nerd out at this stuff hardcore.
You'll hear me talk about anime on here. You'll hear me talk about Power Rangers. You'll hear me talk about wrestling on here.
Okay.
I had an axe handle with a Twisted Tea on it. It was right after that Twisted Tea video went viral. And man, they went out and grabbed it and smacked a dude in the head with it. It was so... That's great.
I'd like to think of this podcast as a nostalgia moment for me. It's a show where I can talk about whatever I want.
I'm a human animal chiropractor. There was a picture of me. It looked like I was on the side of a ramen box over in China.
So I took my kids with me to Comic-Con.
I thought that was really cool.
Well, I don't know if my wife should listen to this podcast. We'll cut that part out. You hope. Be like, and then Robert said this.
If You Give a Dad a Podcast. Available now on all podcasting platforms.
So let's review the key elements that make a very successful trailer. It's concise. Most effective trailers, again, between 60 to 90 seconds long, delivering on the core message without overwhelming your listeners. There's a clear value proposition. Each trailer, it articulates what the podcast is about and what listeners will gain. There's engaging clips. If you have these, especially if you're redoing your trailer and now you have all this past inventory of clips that you can pull from, using these clips can provide snippets from the episodes, which give a taste of the show's style and content. Make sure there's context there, not just reactions, but context, like actual things that people can take home with them, not just you going, oh yeah, that was a good answer, yay. That answer, what was the question, what was the answer? I don't even know what you're saying. Make sure there's content in the clips as well. High production quality, good sound design, editing, set a professional tone, and a strong call to action. All of these things will help you to have your trailer to be more successful than if you ignore these things.
Hey, it's Jeremiah from the What If They're Wrong podcast, the podcast that wants you to question everything. What If They're Wrong podcast is a fringe topic podcast. We cover various topics like aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot, ghosts, and other strange phenomenon. So tune in and remember to question everything.
So what are some examples of a good trailer? It's very subjective. What I'm going to put in front of you may or may not feel like a great trailer to you, but for me, they stand out as some great examples that I wanted to share to give you an idea of what you should have in your mind as you create a trailer. So here's a few that I'm going to throw at you, and you judge for yourself. Do you think these are good trailers? And maybe how can you tweak yours to be a little bit better? But here's some examples.
Hello, and welcome to Long COVID MD, the podcast where we bridge the worlds of medical theory and the reality of battling complex disease. I'm your host, Dr. Zeest Khan. I've dedicated my life to healing others, and I worked as a physician for over 10 years before falling ill with long COVID. This condition has turned my life upside down. I'm better now than I used to be, but in order to find effective treatments, I've had to use everything I know about medicine and how our medical system works. I also know, now more than ever, how that system is broken. In each episode of the podcast, we'll explore the complex and often misunderstood world of long-haul COVID-19 through the eyes of a physician turned patient. I'm opening up about my struggles, how long COVID has affected my body and my life. I want to provide medical insights that are not just interesting theories, but are practical and usable so you can be an empowered patient at every stage of this process. I'll also share how I cultivate resilience with a disease that is so draining. So whether you're a member of the long COVID community, are a healthcare professional, or if you've simply wondered what you would do if faced with a life-changing event, Long COVID MD is the podcast for you. I'm here to validate you, share my medical expertise, and bring you along my ongoing journey to recovery. Stay tuned.
So if you're looking for help on creating your trailer, you're a brand new podcaster just starting out, again, all you need is a trailer, a square image of your what your artwork looks like, a show name, and a brief description about your show. That's all you need to start. All these gurus are telling you need 25 episodes or you have to launch with a big launch and blah, blah, blah. No, all you need is one recorded episode. 60 seconds to 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, somewhere in there, but definitely not 50 minutes. You want to create that, and you need help. I will sit with you and help you record it. I'll sit there on screen with you and coach you along so that in our time together, you walk away with your trailer. That's enough to get you started. The ball's rolling from there, and support you from that point on through our meetup community, through time with me one-on-one, through this very show, the How to Podcast series, and bringing you here on the show as well to talk about your journey. There's so much support for you as podcasters. There's no need to do this alone. Reach out. Let's do this together. Let's get your show going. Let's get you on the air and out into the world. It's enough with all of the prep and all the practice and all the dreaming and wishing and hoping. It's time to put action in place. Stop dreaming about this. Wake up, stop dreaming, stop daydreaming. Let's go. Let's get you started on your podcast. It's not going to start on its own. And I'm here to help you any way you need and with any help you need at howtopodcast.ca. Hey, thanks for being here. Thank you for listening to the end of the podcast. You're here with me. I'm so grateful. I want to put something in front of you. For the person that's listened this far, you're my new best friend. So what I'm trying to do every month is I have a goal, and you can help me with this goal. Very simple. What I'm trying to do is have 5 conversations this month with listeners of the How to Podcast series. You don't have to have a podcast to respond. This can be the first time ever that we're going to have a conversation, but I'm looking to talk to 5 people. Now, you're still here, so you're one of the people that I would love to talk to next. So on my howtopodcast.ca website is a calendar, and I'd love to have you respond on howtopodcast.ca. Just click the calendar link, set up time in my calendar, and in the comments section for the meeting, just put something like listener. That's it. If you have a show, put it in the comments too so I can go listen. But if you don't, I just want to talk to 5 listeners every month from now to the end of the month. So if you're listening to me right now, you're the person I want to talk to. And through howtopodcast.ca, you and I can get together, chat about the show, chat about your journey as a podcaster. Where are you at? What do you need the show to become for you? What's missing? Your feedback. I just want to meet you. And as podcasters, I would encourage you to do something similar to this in your podcast so that you can meet and interact with your audience. So, howtopodcast.ca, I'm looking to talk to 5 people every month, and I would love for you to be one of them. Reach out. It's free. I'm not selling you anything. I just want to talk to you at howtopodcast.ca. Let's get in the calendar and chat. Thanks for listening.